there are people who hide the most outrageous secrets. But all it takes is a traffic ticket for everything to fall apart. Here are 6 cases where cops found horrible things in car trunks. Here's the story of a cop who was just going to issue a traffic ticket but ended up uncovering something horrific inside the car.
Yep. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
On July 29th, 2020, a Louisiana cop pulled over a speeding vehicle on the highway. And behind the wheel was Michael Mitchell Jr., a young man just 18 years old at the time. And not only was he driving over the speed limit, but he didn't even have a driver's license and appeared to be under the influence of some substance. These violations alone would have been enough to land Mitchell in serious trouble, but the officer noticed the young man seemed to be hiding something. The cop decided to search the vehicle. Initially, he was only looking for drugs, but the search of the front seats didn't turn up anything. However, while inspecting the outside of the car, the officer noticed several bullet holes on the left side of the vehicle. It became increasingly clear that something wasn't right.
Thing I want to do.
When the cop checked the car's registration, he discovered that it was registered under a different name, one that didn't match Mitchell's.
And I just, this guy's name is Michael Mitchell.
To make matters worse, the address Mitchell provided didn't align with the information on file.
I was headed back home.
Okay. Where's home? What's your address? No, stop. Come here.
As the cop tried to piece things together, a random man appeared at the scene with a completely different story.
Okay, give me your phone. Hey, man. Hey, this is good. Sir?
The man handed the cop a phone, insisting he speak with someone. Things got even stranger when the cop learned there was a missing person report that might be connected to the car Mitchell was driving. After a few phone calls, the officer discovered that the missing person was Michael Robinson, the registered owner of the car. However, Robinson had no familial ties to Mitchell. With backup now on the scene, the cops decided to conduct another search of the vehicle. That's when the cop opened the trunk and made a horrifying discovery.
Hey. Yep. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Investigators later confirmed that the body in the trunk belonged to Michael Robinson, the missing person. It turned out that Robinson was an accidental victim of an armed robbery involving Mitchell. During the crime, Mitchell shot Robinson multiple times, placed the body in the trunk, and was driving to Winsboro to dispose of it when he was stopped for speeding. In the end, Michael Mitchell was charged with armed robbery and murder, facing the possibility of life in prison. Something similar happened in this case, but there's one detail that makes it even worse. The suspect is the victim's own mother.
There's no tire there. There is no tire there. Alright. There's what?
On May 20th, 2022, cops pulled over a car after noticing it was severely damaged. The vehicle was being driven by Jalissa Thaler and had bullet holes and a shattered rear window, but the officers had no idea what they were about to uncover. When they opened the trunk, they found the unthinkable. The body belonged to Eli, Jalissa's son. Cops immediately began questioning her, but Jalissa couldn't give them any clear answers, acting as if she had no idea what was happening. Incredibly, she managed to evade further suspicion for the moment and returned home, but her freedom didn't last long. Later that same day, cops went to Jalissa's apartment and arrested both her and Robert, the child's stepfather, as the main suspects in Eli's murder. Up until then, Jalissa had lied to everyone, claiming to be a good mother and pretending she didn't know what was going on. But when the case went to trial, everyone got to see her true nature, which became even clearer after Robert's testimony. Robert revealed what had happened the day before Eli's disappearance, and it didn't take long to connect the dots. On the night of May 19th, 2022, Eli and Robert were getting ready to play video games. Suddenly, Jalissa became angry and started hitting Eli, but this wasn't just a fit of normal rage. She grabbed her shotgun and suspiciously took it down to the car. When she returned to the apartment, she grabbed Eli, took him to the car, and began what would become the boys' final journey. That was the last time Robert saw Eli. His testimony was enough to clear his name and prove that Jalissa was solely responsible for the crime. Despite the victim being her own son, Jalissa showed no remorse during her trial. Her statements only confirmed her coldness and lack of regret. In the end, Jalissa Thaler was found guilty of first and second degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In this next case, cops pulled over a car to issue a simple warning, but noticed the driver seemed extremely nervous. That's when they decided to dig deeper and found this. On March 21st, 2022, Louisiana state cops stopped a Hyundai Elantra because it was tailgating another vehicle too closely. The driver, Gary K., was initially pulled over just to receive a warning, but when the officer noticed the car's plates were from another state, he decided to investigate further. While checking the documents, the officer began questioning the passenger, Michael, to confirm their story. The encounter might have ended there if not for the strong smell of marijuana the officer noticed as he approached the vehicle. That prompted him to conduct a search. Inside the car, the officer saw an unusual amount of luggage, far too much for two people who claimed they had only been out of town for a week. Meanwhile, another officer noticed that Gary was growing increasingly nervous. Because of this, they decided to open everything, and what they found was unbelievable. The bags were packed full of drugs, but the real shock came when they opened the trunk and realized the scale of the problem. Inside the trunk, cops discovered a massive stash of drugs, including over 50 kilograms of marijuana. In the end, Gary and Michael were arrested. They spent about a year in jail, and after reaching a plea deal, they were sentenced to 18 months of probation. But what happens when cops find people alive in the trunk of a suspect's car? On July 2nd, 2023, cops in Kinney County pulled over a vehicle during a routine traffic stop.
Is this your vehicle? Oh, it's your friend's?
The driver, identified as Barrientos, handed over an expired California driver's license, immediately raising suspicion. When questioned about the owner of the car, he stumbled over his answers, first claiming it belonged to a friend, then nervously correcting himself and saying it was his brother's. Sensing something was off, the officers decided to search the vehicle, and that's when they uncovered something horrifying. It turned out that Barrientos was actually an undocumented immigrant from Mexico, and in the trunk of the car were two more individuals, a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. The driver, Edwin Giovanni Barrientos Linares, was arrested for human trafficking, and the two teenagers were turned over to Border Patrol authorities.
Okay, and y'all are going back to Dallas right now?
This man even tried to get one of the cops to drive his car in an attempt to distract them from what he was hiding in the trunk. It was March 30th, 2023, when two cops spotted a car driving on the wrong side of the road and at one point almost hitting them. The driver, identified as Randy, initially appeared cooperative, but when the cops glanced at the back seat of the car, they noticed something suspicious. That's when Randy tried to make one of the cops forget about it entirely.
We're fast. All right, hey, so since there's an open container, it's gonna give me probable cause to search your car for other open containers.
You do your thing.
Okay.
Of course, that didn't work. While Randy kept cracking jokes and pretending he wasn't nervous at all, one of the cops decided to conduct a search inside the vehicle. And when the trunk was opened, the real surprise came.
It's peaceful. Hey, don't do that, man. How you do that?
What?
How you do that?
What do you mean? How did I pop it?
Shit. I've been at it like 9 months.
That's kind of a cool pop, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I've been at it like 9 months.
A gun case was found, but the weapon it was meant to hold was missing, and that was far more concerning.
Have you ever been arrested before?
Million times, man.
For what?
Probably weed, goofy ass, miscellaneous ass, shit like that.
Do you have a FOID card?
Nah, I don't.
Tell you what, right now I'm just gonna detain you.
What?
The gun in the back. Okay.
No gun now.
There it is. Okay. We'll figure all of it out here in a second. Okay. End of the day, I'm not trying to take you to jail.
Boss man.
Okay. I just gotta figure
At
everything
that
out.
point,
We'll
Randy
talk
made
about
an
it and stuff,
incredibly
okay?
poor decision.
Stop. Get to the ground. Don't try to take off running, dude.
I'm not gonna run on
You just tried to. I'll come talk to you in a second, okay?
But the case wasn't over yet. As the search continued, the cops uncovered even more incriminating evidence. When questioned, Randy admitted that the drugs, firearms, and ammunition belonged to him. Tests confirmed that the 6 packages found contained 361 grams of cocaine. Additionally, the cops seized $3,100 in cash, 241 rounds of various ammunition, and several firearm accessories. Despite being in serious trouble, Randy didn't make things any easier. Shortly afterward, he attempted to escape again.
Why'd you move your handcuffs up front? Come on! Don't do it!
In the end, Randy was arrested for possession and trafficking of controlled substances, illegal possession of firearms, and resisting arrest. He was also fined for driving with a suspended or revoked license, operating an uninsured vehicle, and reckless driving. But this cop had no idea what he was about to uncover, as he stopped this car only for a license plate violation. On January 24th, 2023, cops in Westlake, Ohio pulled over a vehicle due to suspected license plate irregularities. What started as a routine traffic stop quickly turned into something much more serious. During the stop, the cops noticed signs of drug use inside the vehicle and discovered a firearm. The driver was detained and placed in the patrol car to be taken to the station, but suddenly he decided to confess something to the officer.
I'm not totally being honest with you.
What's wrong?
The cops couldn't understand why the man was so nervous until they opened the trunk. Inside the trunk, they found an AR-15 rifle along with additional ammunition. Further investigation of the car revealed a hidden compartment containing a significant amount of cash, small plastic bags, and a white powdery substance, raising suspicions of drug trafficking. Although the man had a valid license to carry firearms, the weapons were seized as part of the ongoing investigation, and he was arrested and charged with drug trafficking, and additional charges could follow due to the firearms found in the vehicle.
Take off.
Yeah.
Sir.